Welcome to A Mason's Work, the podcast where we review Masonic symbols and illustrate how they can be used to solve problems in everyday life. With your host, Brian Mattox, a proud member of the Craftsman Online Media Network.
Dealing with cognitive dissonance is particularly difficult in that when we look at the situations that we're confronted with, where our beliefs and behaviors or identity and behaviors don't match, we have to go through a very difficult reconciliation process. Now, for some folks that are perhaps less informed or less committed to growth and development, they will very likely just kind of rewrite the narrative with, well, I did this because it supports my behavior or my beliefs in the following ways, or I did this because it supports my identity in the following ways. They just kind of rewrite the script of their identity to allow that behavior, as opposed to changing their beliefs or their identity to then, allow for proactive behavior or positive behavior or whatever that might be in a different way. When you go through the process of change, and we've talked about this in previous episodes, you go through the standard kind of change curve. It is very much like a grief process where you are grieving the identity that you are going to let go of or evolve from. You are grieving the beliefs that you once held and are evolving to in a different way. That grieving process should be handled just like you would handle any other grieving process. You allow it its space and time, and then you go through the kind of phases, right? So there's the denial, there's the aggression, there's the bargaining kind of model. Then there is acceptance and moving on and then thriving, right? As you go through this change curve, this Elizabeth Kubler-Ross style grief curve, you'll come to grips with the notion that you go through this all the time. You once believed ridiculous things. Every time you meaningfully addressed that challenge in your life where you believed a ridiculous thing, and you moved on, you went through a process similar to this, and then you grew as a result. So the cognitive dissonance that you're going to experience as you grow should be actually embraced and looked forward to. For as uncomfortable as it is to go through, it is where all of the good stuff emerges from. It is through this process you move past your belief in magic as opposed to your own agency and autonomy. It is through this process that you grow from having, preconceived notions about everyone being conspiratorial or behind your back, and move again to that sort of area of agency or freedom or capacity. So as you grow through this, as you go through this, you'll come into these situations, and it's best to approach them tenderly with care and compassion for the version of you that believed these things or held this identity. It's entirely okay that you believed one thing that wasn't true. It is entirely okay that you had elements of your identity that didn't work and that you're going to let go of. There is no reason to hold on to these things. Let them flow through your hands like water, and you'll find that you'll be better enabled to respond to the next change, and the one after that, and the one after that. And as you do, you're going to grow each time. That growth and development is really what it means to cultivate the good life and to become a better version of yourself. I encourage you to find those areas and look for those opportunities to see your own cognitive dissonance and understand that is your opportunity to grow. When you see it in others, that's not your concern. Be mindful of trying to fix other people. It is a trap in a lot of ways and doesn't necessarily help. Now, if it's somebody you profoundly care about, the best way to help that is to help them discover the cognitive dissonance on their own, as opposed to pointing it out. When you point it out, again, you get that sort of inherent natural response from them, which is to just rewrite the narrative and make the behavior okay. So don't try and sort of weaponize your own development either in the process, or use your own growth as a truncheon to beat others, and you'll be just fine. So when you, again, look for those areas of cognitive dissonance in yourself, be ginger around the cognitive dissonance in others, be kind to yourself through the process, and you will find that you increase your capacities for agency and depth, and just a finer appreciation for the good things in life.
The views represented in this podcast are those of the speaker alone, and are not representative of any grand or subordinate lodge.
Hi, Brian here. I wanted to thank you so much for listening to this episode. If you have any suggestions or guidance for further episodes you'd like to see or hear, whatever the case may be, please don't hesitate to reach out to me at amasonswork.com, and we will try and incorporate your suggestions into a future recording. Thanks.
Freemasonry teaches us that the true work is within, a lifelong journey of reflection, discipline, and discovery. At A Mason's Work, we help Masons bring out their best selves through meaningful self-inquiry and symbolic practice. From personal reflection to lodge engagement, we offer tools that turn symbols into action. Visit us at amasonswork.com. The work is within. The time is now.